All right, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me okay. We are ready to get started here. Today's webinar is on our new version 12 of eDirectory. Hope the audio is okay. If anybody has any problems with the audio or the video, just pop a message into the chat, and we'll see if we can make some adjustments here, but I think it's working good. All right, so we are so excited about the new version. It's our best release ever by far. We have a whole bunch of enhancements, and today I'll just go through them. If anybody has any questions during the presentation, if you could please just drop a message in the chat. I'll stop periodically to review the questions and answer them as we go here. Okay. So, a brief overview on the new version. The big things actually we did are behind the scenes. We rewrote the whole front end of eDirectory to clean up all the code and also add a number of new widgets, etc. So we're really excited about that. It makes it easier to customize, easier to work with, etc. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen. And I'll jump right in and show you some of these great new features. All right. And here we go. All right. So I hope everybody can see my screen okay. So this is the new version, the new front end. We did full width sliders. You can scroll through here and see kind of a new clean interface. We have a number of new widgets. I'll show you those in the background. New events layout, etc. Locations with ad banners. So let me just go through some of these new widgets first. So if you go into the site manager here, under design and customization, we have the page editor. It's the paint roller and then the page editor. I'm sure this section everybody's pretty familiar with. And then let me just go in here. I'll edit the home page. So some of these new widgets include a featured list of feature categories with text only, list of feature categories with icons instead of bigger images, a list of feature categories in just one horizontal line, a social network bar, contact information bar, a call to action. Let me just actually, I'll add the call to action right now. All of these widgets you can see in here. If you just kind of go through, you can select all here and you'll see the new ones in here. Let me just see if I can find some of them here. Reviews action. There's the lead form. Here's the call to action widget. This is a new one, so you can add that. I added it right below the footer, but I'll move it up above the footer. You probably want the call to action right above the footer. And then you can edit this widget here to change some of the information. One of the things you can do is add a background image to it, or one of the big features of this version is actually the integration with Unsplash. So Unsplash is a open source, royalty-free license service. It's actually a company, but the license is typically royalty-free. They have an API, so we connected the software to their API, and now you can go in and look for an image. Say you're building a directory about weddings. You can go in here and just find stock photos using this. So there's a whole bunch of them here. And then you can select them. There's actually more than just a couple. You can load more. So this really helps you get some pro-looking images throughout your site. You can also upload your own image here. Then you can put in your call to action, call us today, special offer today only. So I'll just put in some sample text here. There's a bunch of links here. If you wanted this thing to link to a checkout button, you can do that here. So you can put in a order, and then you can link this to your payment link or whatever you'd like, or a separate lead gen form, whatever you want to do for your call to action here. And then this widget can actually be, you can set it up once and use it throughout the site, or you can set up individual ones on individual pages with that checkbox there. So then you save the changes, and then after the widget's been saved, you can publish the page here. All right. And then back on the front, you should be able to see it here. So we'll go here on the front and check out that widget that we just added. One feature that I noticed many people aren't aware of is when you're logged into the site manager, this bar will show up on the top, which allows you to edit the page. It's very convenient. So if you're using the page editor, you can be in any section of the site and hit edit this page, and then it'll pop you back in. It'll open a window into the page editor there. So okay, the camera. Let's some issues here. Let me turn off the. Give me 1 second. I heard we're having some issues on here. I tell you what I'll do is turn off the HD. Hopefully that'll fix it. I hope the audio is okay. All right. So anyway, let's take a look at the widget we just added here. Here's the new widget we just added, which is the call to action button. Call us today, special offer today only. And then you click the order button here. And then, oh, this, I actually tried to link it. I didn't set up that link correctly. That should have been a full URL, but you get the idea there. Basically, you set up the widget on the home page, and then let me just see here, and then you can link it to the link that you'd like it to go to here. All right. There you go. So that's one important widget. There's a whole bunch of other ones. Let me show you some of the other ones here as well. Let's see. One other widget that we actually have 3 new widgets that are different types of cards. And so listings and cards, if you go into here, what a card is, it's just kind of it's a layout with some of the information. So we have a horizontal one listing information, 3 vertical cards, 3 vertical with 1 sort of highlighted vertical card plus horizontal, etc. And this just allows you to lay out your different content. And we put in a bunch of great rules here. So you can just put in, this is like, we'll call this widget the hot listings here. And then you can pick a module from any of the content areas. Here, where is it going to link to? You can link it back to the listing home, or even a custom link or something else, but we'll put it into the listing home. Link label, all hot listings. And then for the background of it, you can either make it the color of the site, your brand color, or a neutral color, or white. And then how would you like to display the info? You can either pick the items individually here, which is interesting. So if you want to pick individual listings, you can do that there. But actually, one of the more interesting things is we have this customizable rules. And so you can say, you can only select certain levels of listing. Okay, I only want diamond listings, and you can choose the results, the highest rated diamond listings, ordered by, whatever your second criteria is. And then actually you can filter these by category. So if you only want to have restaurants in here, you can do restaurants, or pick a couple of them here for the categories. And then how would you like to filter? You can filter them by location as well if you'd like. So there's some options there for location filters. So this will be our hot restaurants. Hot restaurants. Okay, and then we'll say this here, and then this went right here at the bottom. So I'll put this up right above the call to action I just added, and save the changes. Okay, so there we go. That page is saved, and now let me go back to the home page here. And then we can see this new card widget here. And so this gives you a lot of flexibility. And here's here we go, hot restaurants. This is the card widget I just added. You can see it picked 3 from the restaurant category, made one of them even larger. There's a link to the rest of the hot listings that can go wherever you'd like it to. So that's a great feature there. And then obviously the individual listings show up here. So there's a bunch of card options that really allows you to kind of decide which content goes where. You can pick the specifics, pick certain rule sets, etc. You can put articles, whatever you'd like in there. So those new widgets are great. And then we also, what else? We also have a section title header, page title header that you can just put in a new section of your content. That works pretty good. So those are the new widgets. If anybody has any questions on those, let me know. I'll just pop back in here. Just make sure, hopefully the audio and everything is okay for everybody. All right. All right, next up, let's see. One of the other features that we have is a lot more flexibility in terms of just the layouts of the site. All right. Oh, we just got a question in from Michael. What was the last widget called? That last widget was a card, one of the card widgets. I think it was the 3 horizontal cards. There's a bunch of different card widgets, and so I'll just go back there real quick. It just takes a second. Those are actually probably things you're going to use quite often. So they're under, when you add a widget, it's under this section here, listings and cards. And then there's a bunch of them. So that one I just did was 3 vertical cards, but there's also 3 verticals that doesn't have one highlighted. There's a whole bunch of them in here, a whole bunch of different card options that you can do to give you some different layout throughout the site. And you can put together a pretty nice looking site now with these, which is great. Okay, so back where I was, we updated some of the themes a little bit, so there's some options there. But this is one of the big features, is the colors and fonts. So now there's some more ability to change the different colors throughout the website. So if you're on the front and you see sort of a color in a spot, like a button, etc., then you can come back here and say, highlighted color, that's that. Maybe I'm going to make that a little bit darker or something. Whatever you want to do. I don't know that I really want to do that. You can change some of those to give you the color that you want for the different features in the site wherever you see them, and update there. One of the other big things is the font options. We hooked in with Google Fonts, which has I don't know, hundreds of fonts I think available. So if you go in here now, you can see all these different font options here, and you can select the font that you want for the different part of the site, as well as the font size, and then the paragraph font as well. And then some border options if you want to do a bigger border, etc. So this really allows you to kind of make the site look pretty dramatically different than previously. So you can test the font there. I don't know that it's like a heavy metal band. Maybe that's a little too much for us, but let me see. And then I'll just save it just so we can see what some of this stuff does. All right, and then reload. And some of this stuff, I think most of it, it'll reload automatically, but occasionally you'll need to clear your cache to do that, to see some of the options there, to see the CSS. I'm a little hesitant to clear my cache out just because it'll kick me out of the webinar system. But you get the idea. Anyway, so updating fonts, colors, etc. That's a big feature for us. A lot more flexibility there. Okay. Okay. I just heard there's a display lag, so I will try to slow down a little bit. Sorry about that. I have a question about converting from earlier versions. Will you have to reload images in higher resolution to accommodate the cards? I don't think you will, because the system, when you upload an image, it stores a pretty large copy of it, so it should just work okay from previous versions when you migrate it over. It's always a challenge for us, though, doing that. And I think if you're on anything prior to 11, if you're on a version 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 4, we've been doing this a long time, you might need to update some of the images. But I think you'll be okay if you're on a modern version, certainly version 11, and probably 10 will probably work as well, as far as that goes. We had a question, are there tutorial videos that we can reference later? Yeah, we'll actually, I think we're going to post a video of this webinar, but also we have some videos in our support section of our website, etc. We're working on updating all of those. I think we've done a number of them already. If there's something that you feel we're missing or need done quickly, as far as a reference video, certainly let our support know. You can just pop on the support, send an email in, hey, I was wondering how to do this, can you send us a video, and then we'll record the video and post it. However, and also if you just need our support team to help you, you can call them up and they'll be able to walk you through certain aspects of the system. Okay. All right. Let me jump back in here. Okay. Yeah. So we also added the ability on the 4 header image widgets. Let me jump back and show that. We have, let me just see, a widget. So we have some more options here as far as the header images go, as far as making it a sticky menu. If you want your menu stays on the screen so the user can scroll there, or transparent. So there's a couple more options as far as those widgets go, which are really good. We have the ability of the site manager to remove the number of items on the browse by categories and the browse by location widget. So that's a good feature if you're just starting your directory and some of the categories aren't full yet, or you don't feel they show an appropriate number, you can delete that. Let me show that widget here. That's on some of the browse by categories widgets here. So this is the enable counter. If you don't want to show how many listings you have in the various categories or locations, you can disable that, and that'll turn off the counter. So that's a good feature. We have a new feature on the results widget. This results widget is actually only available on the results page, obviously. But let's go in here. So if you hit edit on the results page, this feeds in from the search box, and now we have this beautiful results widget here. And if you hit add a widget on the results page, where are we? Oh wait, let me just go back here. Actually, let me edit the one that's already in here. That'll be easier. You can see some of the options on the results widget. So now we have the list view. We also have a grid view and a list plus grid view. And then the filters, which come down the left side on the front. So let me just go there and show you what that looks like. If we go to the listings, and then let's just click food and dining. So we have some different options now. These are the filters here on the left. They're filtered by category, location, etc. You can change the location of these filters to put them on the right. Let's actually, why don't we change this to, maybe we'll do this on a grid view and just show you how this looks. So save that, and this is going to put our results in the grid view. All right. So that's all saved. So this is the list view. They're kind of listed one per row here going down. And then if I reload this now, this comes out as a grid view for the listing. So nice new layout option, really looks great. So it's really up to you kind of how you want to make your site look. Trying to give you more flexibility there. Let's see what else. Better display and navigation on the video gallery widget. Let me just hop in there. We'll talk about the video gallery. Just add one of those. So if you want to create a video gallery, you can do that now. Some people even like it on their homepage. I'll use that, I guess. Let's go in here, add a widget. And let me see if I can find, I think it's under common. Find the video gallery here. And we are looking at, there's the social network bar widget, and it uses the settings from your social network that are set in the settings thing. Here's our video gallery widget. I just add one here. And the way that this works is you can set the background color, you can set the number of columns for how many videos you'd like here, and then you can call it what you want, interview of the week, etc. And then here you can go and put in the video URL, etc. And so the video is typically hosted by YouTube or an unbranded service such as Vimeo. If you don't want to have YouTube branding and all that on it, you can get an account with Vimeo to do that. Some people do other video hosting. Video hosting is different than web hosting, and so you need a special video hosting service to do that. So we don't have video hosting with the system, but usually people like YouTube because it adds an additional distribution channel for your content as well. But if you don't like the related videos and everything showing, then you can get a private label one, such as Vimeo. So that's the new video widget, which is good. All right. Can you add a number of a site's social profiles to the listing? Yes, we got a question from Mark on adding social profiles to the listing. Yeah, I can show you real quick how that is done. So on the listing, if I go up here, which is the content editor, and then I just pick a listing here, I'll just choose this one randomly. You can see in the field, there's different options here for, this is showing a error just because the maps key isn't in, so don't worry about that, it's just a demo. Here's the social, if you want to add in your social profiles, you can do that here into an individual listing. So individual listings can have their Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, etc. This is actually perfect timing because what I was going to show you next is this new feature that we have here, which is the features icons. So what you can do here is like add in features, and we have ability to put in an icon for the features using an icon library. So this is an example for live music, but let me just see what else they have here. Let's see what other options they have. Say that they have, there's a whole bunch of icons here that you can use for everything you can possibly imagine. Say it's wheelchair accessible and you want to add that. All right, and you just add that feature in, and then when you save the listing, what happens is these features will appear on the front. So this listing was the University Musical Society, I believe. So let me just search for that up here. Here's the listing. And so then you scroll down here. Now you can see that there's an icon for live music, which is already there, and then the wheelchair accessible. So this allows you to add a bunch of features in the listing, which is really a great feature to kind of give some additional options there. In addition to that, one other change that we made was improving the hours of operation, the business hours. So now it's actually broken down where you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the hours each day. And so instead of just a big text field. And the really great thing about that is now it'll say the listing will say open now if it's within the business hours. So right now you see this open now, and then it has this option here, which is a pro feature. So that can make a really great looking site. Let's see. We got another question from Carol. If we have a custom modified site, is there a master list of updates that we can use to order to add to the current site? Carol, so regarding the customization, there's two ways to do it. Merge you had done into the new version, and then merge the data into the new version, and then you're live with the new version. Otherwise, we can pick features out of the new version and put those back into your older version. Either one of those is certainly an option. If possible, I'd recommend using the new version and then moving your customizations in. It really depends though how much work, and if you only need one or two features, it makes sense to just stay where you're at and just copy some stuff back down. The one thing to keep in mind is I'm showing you some features here, but there's a whole bunch of things that were done on the back end, just improvements, etc., that are at the code level, and so you don't even really see them, sort of things under the hood. So if you can get on the new version, that's probably the way to go. An account executive, you can reach out to Daniel Storm, and he can see what's involved and what you had done and what you want to move over. One thing we are trying to do actually is make it easier to copy these customizations into new versions, etc. We've done a lot of work over the last few years to try to encapsulate the code, compartmentalize things, etc., to make the customizations, to be able to move the customizations over. The challenge is customizations. Yeah, they're customizations, and so it just requires some labor to see what's done and then copying it in, etc., for that. But we'll see what we can do for you. Just reach out to your account executive, and he can see what's possible. All right, we have a couple new Search Box widgets. Search Box without the slider, slider without the search box, etc. Those are all pretty straightforward. We have let's see. We have the ability for the site manager to change some of the content position for some of the widgets on the search box, so they can change it left, right, etc. And all that. And let me show you that one more time, that integration with the Unsplash again, because this is really helpful if you just need some images to help put it into your site here. So like the cover image right here, if you're looking for just a generic background, it's really good if your individual images for the listing are specific and really for that business. But if you just need like a general background, like this is Universal Music Society, it's just a fake sample listing. But here we can go to Unsplash and just type in like, music in here, and then it has this integration with things that are related to music. And if that's not quite right, let's try horn. and maybe Horn will show us something along those lines, and then one of these might make, but we don't want this kind of horn. But anyway, and then you can see this will help fill images, etc. for the site. So that unsplash is really a powerful feature. I already talked about the fields, opening hours. Oh, one other thing that we did was some of the fields around the additional phone number. We used to have a fax number on there, and people just don't use fax anymore, but they are doing other things like using WhatsApp. So now you can change the additional phone number field for that. So where is that? I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, and then while I'm here, deals classifieds. Okay, so this is the related classifieds. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, and then let me show you also let's see, photos. And then we put this tab in as well for the photos on the detail listing. So that's helpful there. Right. That's a customizable field. Oh, and then we have ability in the listing, I guess, to upload a logo, which some people may want to use. So let me just do here, listings. Go back here. I can add a listing. We just add a new listing. Done. Level. Listing. We have these different listing types. Okay, coverage, video URL, fax. Oh, this is one field that many people don't use, which is this reference field, and this is really great if like a business is in a shopping mall or something. You can write it's on the second floor of the shopping mall, things like that. Let me see. We have ability to add in a logo image. It may need to be enabled. So I can go into the settings here. Let's see, listing levels, types here. So listing levels, email, imagery, cover image, logo image. So now we have this ability to add in a logo image, which I didn't have enabled. I'll go ahead and enable it here, which is good. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to add. Hours, location, classified features. Okay, save. So the logo image is great. Some listings prefer, they would like to have a logo, I guess, in addition to the regular. So now if I go here, add this listing again. Cover image for the gallery. Here's the logo image. So that appeared now that I enabled it for the listing level. So that's a good feature. The listing's up like a logo. One other thing that we have is in the featured categories. You're able to now upload an icon in these. So if we go into the categories here, and then let's just manage a category here. Let's say we'll edit the health category. And then inside the health category, there's actually ability to add in an icon if you'd like to do that instead of a graphic image here. So that's up to you. And then one last little thing we did was the Google Maps pins. Pin icons are now the same color as the website, just to kind of give you a little bit more branding. So that's a pretty good overview of what we have improved throughout the site. A lot of new things, a lot of new details. There's also just a ton of things under the hood, which are really important as well. If anybody has any questions, let me let me jump back here and I will see if anybody has any questions. Any more questions? Let's see. Right. Okay. Sorry about going off topic there. Too much to show. Let's see. Can you add the opening hours feature to a previous version? Yeah, that sort of thing. I think that's pretty easy to copy back in if you did want the opening hours on a previous version. If you don't have a customized site, you don't want to go through a whole uploaded version. How does this affect the release of the app? The apps we haven't updated yet. We're actually working on all new apps, fully redone using the Google framework Flutter, and we're expecting to have those out in probably about 2 months. So as of now, the apps work fine, no problems there. However, there weren't any updates to the apps. All right. Let's see. Other questions do we have here? Have you considered integration with Twilio or another VoIP service provider? Yes, we actually had an integration with Twilio. Let me just see here. The challenge we had was that time sort of moved around the whole, the thing, the click to call and all that. And so clients weren't, the reality of it at the end of the day, they weren't using it. And so I think we actually took out the Twilio integration. Yeah, I believe we removed that. General settings. I'll check if we remove that fully. I know we used to have a click to call with it, and nobody was using it. It literally got like no usage, and so we took that stuff out, because now what happens is people see the site on their cell phone, and most modern Android and iPhone, if they see a phone number in there, they can click it to call. So it's not like they need to type the number or anything like that. So it's we have thought about that, but it didn't seem to be like something people would use. Are any of these new items already in late version 11 editions? No, most of this stuff was new. I think I just mentioned 1 or 2 little things that people were not using, but most of this stuff is version 12. All these new widgets and everything are version 12. How easy is it to import listings, categories, locations into eDirectory? Yeah, the import is actually super easy. Let me share my screen again, and I'll show you that real quick. Because a couple versions ago, we actually made a big improvement into our screen sharing. Okay, sorry, into our into the import features. So when you're importing, basically you go in here to the listings, and then we have an import, and you go in here and we have a sample file, but then what you do is you decide, okay, I want to import listings, and then you just click through and import basically an Excel sheet, a CSV file. You drag your file, drop it in here, and then you can actually select which column goes first, second, third, fourth. So you don't even need to really edit your spreadsheet as much anymore to do that. But we do have a sample file available if you need to get that. And then here's the template file. You just download the template there. So that's all real straightforward as far as importing. And then if new categories aren't in the system already, it'll create the categories and locations for you as it goes. So yeah, importing data is real easy. Let's see. Have you considered a feature or plugin for for version 11 to work. Wait, have you upgraded the mods from version 11? Yeah, we've upgraded. The mods are actually all finished, and today we're just doing final QA on them. We've been working on them for a number of weeks now, and so I think by tomorrow the mods are going to start going out for version 12. I think it's going to be tomorrow, maybe Thursday, but we're about ready on the mods, so those are all ready to go. We made some improvements to those as we went, but some of them we're still working on as well. Have you considered a feature or a plugin where users can actually, I'm having trouble seeing that there. Feature plugin where users can actually buy deals or book events. Yes, we are looking at a booking engine mod, and we expect to have that out later this year. So certainly, as far as booking, currently, if you need to get booking done through it, talk to your account executive. There are some third-party things that we can integrate without too much work to be able to do booking. All right. Anything else? Is that the last question? Okay, if we have a I'm trying to check the questions here. It's a little bit difficult on the screen share to see them all. If we have a custom modified site, is there a master list of updates we can use? Current site, I think I answered that one already about merging. Are there tutorial videos? Okay, have you thought about APIs with Realtor, Zillow, Craigslist? Yeah, we've thought about some of the APIs. I think we have the Yelp API in already. The real challenge is if you're just pulling in content from a third party, it's a little bit difficult to build your own traffic and your own brand, and so people need to be very careful about that. The other thing is a lot of these APIs you could actually put in now, depending on how they're done, using the custom content widget or a very small customization if our team needs to do it. But we have looked at some of the APIs. It's just sometimes what they try to do, like even Yelp, is I was having a discussion with the team today about the Yelp mod, and the problem there is with their API, their terms are you can put in Yelp reviews, but you can't put in your own reviews on the same page as the Yelp reviews. And then Yelp only shows 3 reviews and then a more button, and then they try to send you to Yelp's website, etc. So it's not really great for building your brand, a lot of these things. We've certainly thought about them, and there's some that probably make sense to put in. There's some that are very easy to put in, and some you can even just drop in a little widget via the custom content widget. You don't even need to call us to do that. If you need something done, if you want something specific, let us know. We'll take a look at it, see what's involved in doing that. Have you considered adding a mod to link to TripAdvisor like you do Facebook? Yes, actually, Barry. TripAdvisor is one that we are going to have out here pretty soon. TripAdvisor and Google reviews as far as mods go. So those are on the pipeline to get those out. And I think the next month or so, hopefully we'll have progress on those and have some new releases. The team is working on new mods. So, all right. Okay. And are there any more questions? Let's see. I think that's it. Okay, I saw another one for IDX, Internet Data Exchange, and IFFT. Yeah, so certainly those are things also to take a look at. We are going to build more integrations and everything over time, so it's certainly on our horizon to do that. All right. If anybody else has any more questions, let us know. Otherwise, we will have a recording of this available if anybody wants to go back later. And we are going to be updating the videos and etc. on the website. we're really excited about this version. A lot of stuff under the hood, a lot of the great new widgets. You can do some amazing things now with the site. And always we welcome your feedback. So I'll paste in my email here if anybody has any comments. Happy to answer them. My name is James Chubb. All right, and there's my email. Just feel free if you have any suggestions or anything, let us know. And our support team is always available to help. There's a support chat on the eDirectory website, and you can submit a ticket or send an email to support@eDirectory. Okay, anything else? I think that's it then. Oh, one more question that came in. Is this mobile optimized? Yes, everything is ready to go, responsive, ready to go for mobile devices, absolutely. Any promos to upgrade from version 11 or earlier? Yeah, the upgrades are pretty affordable these days, so just check with your account. Reach out to Daniel Storm or Darwin Castro, your account executive. We'll see what we can do to get you an upgrade. Oh, we got a question about the Elastic v6 from Howard. Howard, yes, we're working on that. This version doesn't have it, unfortunately, but we are working on the Elastic upgrade, and that should be out pretty soon. I think we're going to start. What our goal actually is to do a more sort of rapid, fluid release cycle in the future as the upgrades get easier to do that. So we are working on Elastic 6 as well. We made some other improvements under the hood so things work a little bit better related to Elastic as well. Oh, and that reminds me of one other thing is we upgraded the PHP version, I think, to 7.1 with this version as well. So it does have a new version of PHP as well. Okay. Last call for questions. All right. Okay, I guess that's it. So I would like to thank everybody again for joining. One other thing I want to mention is we are restarting the webinar series. And next Wednesday, we're going to have a webinar on some strategies around creating bundles of services for eDirectory to help you with monetization. So we'll send out an email about that pretty soon. But yeah, webinar Wednesdays are coming back, and thanks for your time.